What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Channel Musi Gaming here, and today I want to talk to you about a section of the face-to-face with the developers note that was just released into Rise of Kingdoms that was addressing the changes to the Zenith of Power that the Rise of Kingdoms developers were suggesting. And I personally know that if I post this video, I'm going to get a lot of hate from a lot of you who are watching this video, just because this does sound like I'm going against something that the developers are going to try to give you, but let me explain why. But first, let's just read the question and the answer in terms of what kind of changes that are suggested to come to the Zenith of Power event. Question number 6. Please modify the Zenith of Power event. Granting city themes based on rankings motivates everyone to raise their power by hoarding resources instead of fighting. What's more, those who don't rank in top 10 don't earn a city theme and gets made fun of. In all honesty, this kind of just sounds like complaining. Like you're competing for the top 10 ranking of Zenith of Power. That's the whole point of this event. But let's just go ahead and read the rest of it. We're planning on adding a new exchange currency to ensure all governors have a chance of earning the new event city theme. Here's how it works. During the Zenith of Power event, you will be able to earn the new currency by increasing your power, which is basically, so now from the previous Zenith of Power, there will be a new mileage system that's going to be added to the game. And once the rankings are finalized, you'll be able to use the currency to redeem the current Zenith of Power city theme, the theme effect, and other items in the event shop. Okay, so this part is what my problem, where I think the problem is. Once the rankings are finalized, you'll be able to use this currency to redeem the current Zenith of Power city theme. So that means there is no limitation on how many Zenith of Power city theme that one kingdom can have, as long as they meet the threshold. Okay. And that's, I think, the majority of the problem actually comes from this second bullet point, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and read through. Governors in the top 10 will still receive the event city theme. So if you're in the top 10, you'll still get the city theme. But top 3 will no longer receive the event theme effect. Instead, the theme effect will be available in the event shop. And number 4, there will be a limit on how much this currency you can earn per event. Any unused currency will be lost at the end of the event. Okay, so here's the thing. What this suggested changes does to the Zenith of Power system right now is that if you push enough power in the Zenith of Power event, you're basically guaranteed a Zenith of Power city theme, regardless of how many that you get as a kingdom or even like the kingdom cluster. So what I'm worried about at the end of the day is that, let's say a kingdom like 1960, before they disband, was actually still kind of, everything was put together. Everyone's still spending like crazy. Everyone's getting 10 years of speed ups just by being part of 1960. There's just people who are just in 1960 for years and years and years. They have like 10 years, 20 years. Everyone has 10 years, 20 years of speed up, let's say. In those cases, and with the fact that the next Zenith of Power city theme is going to be 12% health skin for troop type, regardless of troop type. So 12% health city theme, Zenith of Power city theme, will be released into kingdoms like 1960, 2377 with unlimited amount, because they had so much power, so much speed ups that they actually got from being part of those crazy Imperiums with crazy spenders. So imagine that you're up against 2377 that runs 100, if not maybe 150, 200. I don't know. I don't know how this event, the threshold will be for that event currency, but like just imagine having 100 people who has 12% health, like troop health city skin equipped to their stuff and then fighting against everyone else just because they were in the higher Imperium. I think this puts much greater gap between the Imperiums, current Imperiums, and those who are in the ACs and very close to being an Imperium, in my opinion, because there's no way that the non-Imperiums will be able to catch up in terms of the amount of speed up that they actually get. And, it's just impossible. Like, if you're just getting years and years of speed up just by sitting in one KVK, and you actually push as a kingdom to try to get as much health, the Zenith power 12% troop health skin as possible. I'm just genuinely concerned that the power gap between the kingdoms would just be really, really crazy. Whereas right now, per each kingdom cluster, you're limited to having 10 Zenith power city theme, right? The power surge that you get from Zenith power city theme is limited by kingdom cluster, right? So I don't know. I personally think this is a very dangerous route that we're going. And I think there are better solutions to kind of, taking care of those who didn't make it to the top 10 in terms of Zenith Power skin, in my opinion. And I, as a content creator, as an apprentice content creator, which is the lowest tier of the content creator, which doesn't really matter for me, but so I'm part of this program called Rise of Kingdoms content creator stuff. You guys can see me on the Rise of Kingdoms official Discord, where I'm like assigned as apprentice Rise of Kingdoms content creator. As an apprentice Rise of Kingdoms content creator, I have raised my concern here, and I'm gonna read it to you. There is a section on the Discord for all the content creators are actually in, and I actually suggested my solution and my feedback to this concern, because for one, I'm genuinely concerned. I'm genuinely concerned about a single kingdom having 100 different Zenith Power skins with 12% health, because the next Zenith Power city skin that is scheduled is indeed 12% city skin for troop type, regardless of troop type, right? So just I raised my concern to the developers. And I just basically said it in the update feedback chat, and I said, "Hey, I just read the face-to-face with the developers note, and although I usually don't say things here, because I usually never post on that update feedback stuff, because I generally think that they're doing a good job, and I haven't seen a single change that was going to break the game too much. I wasn't content creating when they were talking about T6s, which I would have raised my concern about that. But I said, hey, I just read the face-to-face with the developers note, and although I usually don't say things here, I just wanted to provide my honest feedback. I know that I could get, and I would get, a lot of hate from doing this, because a lot of you are probably thinking, hey, why are you trying to limit the more things that they're trying to get, because it will create unbalance. But let's go on. I personally think the approach that you mentioned about the Zenith power changes seems a bit dangerous, where if you were to push enough power, you will still get the city theme, even if you're not in the top 10 of the Zenith power. So given that there are currently kingdoms who generally get significantly more speed ups over others due to the gold chest and other investments in the game, due to the gold chest and other investments in the game is structured, I'm afraid that suggested changes of the Zenith power is going to push the power level of players in the Imperium a bit too much. And I put it in parentheses of an example where I said, imagine having top 10 Imperiums with 100 players running 12% health city skins. Instead, I personally think there is a different approach that can actually make more sense for those who, quote unquote, barely misses the Zenith Power Skins event. For instance, if you are in top 15 or 20, you're given a token that once you have enough can be exchanged for some outdated city themes or getting the Zenith Power cosmetic theme without stats. So if this is kind of like the autark kind of thing that I'm suggesting, I don't think like my suggestion here is really something that is important. I'm just the point of this section is that I just want to make sure that they are considering other avenues of addressing this problem that was raised here, right? But if you're in the top 15 or 20, if you barely misses it, then maybe you're given a token and then maybe you can buy Zenith Power city themes or get a cosmetic or something like that. Like that lasts forever. That doesn't just disappear after 30 days, right? And I know I'm practically nobody, and I am. I'm practically nobody, but would really appreciate if developers can take at least a good look at my point of view as well as those of others. Because yeah, I get it. I get it. Some people are very upset about how the Zenith Power City Skin event, like Zenith Power event, is actually run. I get that, but then again, you shouldn't. For those of you who are complaining, I think you're not gonna get it either way through this, right? Because I think the power level threshold is gonna be what 30 million, 50 million, 60 million, right? You're never gonna get this. If you're complaining that if you're not complaining, then you would have already had enough resources and speed ups to actually push for this, in my opinion. Like if you had 10 years of speed ups, you would have already gotten the power skin, and you would not have complaints about this too much, right? But this would only benefit, I think, those kingdoms who are Imperiums, in my opinion. And this will just put the power gap between the Imperiums and non-Imperiums by having Imperiums have 12% health skins. Everyone run 12% health skin at the end of the day, right? It's just, I don't think it's a really good approach in my opinion. But it's just one person's opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Whoever is suggesting this and whoever is thinking about making this change, maybe you're right. But I don't know. What do you guys think? If you guys did find today's video helpful, or if you have any opinions about this particular section of my video, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And yeah, yeah, I just don't want some of those changes to break the game, in my opinion. Right? Like, and obviously having like 1,000 more of the 12% health skin to Imperium release is potentially going to break the power balance between any kingdoms, in my opinion. So I hope you guys actually understand my point of view. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please go ahead and drop a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. If you guys have feedbacks, feel free to leave it down in the comment down below. I get it. This is a very controversial topic. I know that a lot of like mid free-to-play players. I saw Omniarch's video, and I get where he's coming from, because he's like, well, if this change was to come into the game, like I can actually consider pushing for this. But when this actually gets released into the game, they're not gonna give Zenith Power City Skin to everyone who pushes 10 million power, right? They're going to give it to those who push at least 30 million power, 40 million power, 50 million power. And in all honesty, like people like Omniarch, like I love him. I love him as a content creator, but like he's not a whale by anyone's standard, right? He's not a mega whale. And I think a lot of people have this misconception. A lot of non-whales are having this misconception that this is going to be easier for them to get this, but no. I think this is actually going to only help. In reality, it is only going to help those people who are in the Imperium, who have years and years of speed ups, but who previously couldn't compete for the Power City skin without leaving the Imperium Kingdom, is now going to get all the city skins that they want, is how this sounds like, in my opinion. But feel free to leave it down in the comment down below how you think. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.